minutes after the hour. United States Congressman Mike Rogers, the Republican from Brighton, is, as I understand it, now going to run for re-election against nobody come November, and that means it's a pretty easy race, huh? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. There will be a name that appears on the ballot, Conde Galamalume. So I don't take any elections for granted. We'll still be running for re-election.
Yeah, but he's backed out of the race, hasn't he?
He has said he won't campaign, so I'm for that as a candidate.
Somebody to run against, you mean?
Well, listen, obviously in these kind of elections, having someone that has pledged that they won't campaign into the election year makes it easier. But this is still a year where people are frustrated and anxious, and it's important to communicate them, and I'll continue to do that through the course of the campaign. Okay,
so we have someone not campaigning. It's the best you can possibly hope for there. What happened to Pete Hoekstra? He seemed like he had it all and was decisively beaten by Rick Snyder.
Well, I just think this was one of those funny years. You had the folks who were vying for the conservative block of votes in the primary, vying against each other. You had Cox and Hoekstra doing those two things. And then you had Bouchard and Tom George all vying for the same pot of votes. And I think Rick Snyder peeled some of those off and appealed to those other votes that weren't in that mix. And I think it was probably a winning combination for him.
You made some news with Fox the other day saying that if an Army private is charged with leaking classified material to that WikiLeaks website, he should be found guilty. If he is found guilty, he should be sentenced to death.
Yeah, there's nothing else in the Constitution that is a crime other than treason, and it delineates treason as a very serious crime against the United States. I think it is treason. He gave information that could likely jeopardize U.S. soldiers in the field, literally get them killed. And clearly it's already had an impact on individuals that have cooperated with the United States government. I don't know if you saw it, but the Taliban has executed a Malik in one of the villages and put out a statement that said thanks to WikiLeaks they were able to determine who he was. Wow. This is very, very serious. People are going to lose their lives, and you cannot have an act of treason costing American lives without, I think, the seriousness and the penalty of capital punishment.
Gosh, I wonder when the last time that we executed someone for treason was in the United States. It had to be a long time ago, I'm guessing.
I think it was a very long time ago, and they have to convict them, they got to try them, and all of those things, and we shouldn't jump to conclusions other than the fact that, as I said, if the investigation determines he leaked this information, I think it's an act of treason. We ought to charge him with treason, and if he's convicted, I think. Imagine if you're a mom kissing your son goodbye, and he's off to the 101st Airborne Division. Mm-hmm. How would you feel if somebody, a fellow soldier, gave information to the enemy that would put his life in danger? It's unconscionable. We cannot stand for it. And we can't play this game. Well, it wasn't all that serious. It was that serious. It will lead to deaths of soldiers. It will lead to deaths of Afghans. And I don't know. I think we have to send a very clear message that this culture of disclosure has to end.
The penalty for treason is death by hanging, isn't it?
I don't know if it specifies the way. Mm-hmm. I think firing squad was the last treason execution was firing squad, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I hope we put that on national television at least, or worldwide television, because if that's true, that sending something to a silly, stupid website resulted in the death of an American soldier, that's desperately sad.
Well, I think about it. It's not just they can be charged with espionage, and I hope they pursue that. The people at WikiLeaks, mm-hmm. which is different than treason, and also, remember, the Taliban is going to get this information because it becomes public. Al-Qaeda gets to see it. The Iranian intelligence service sees it. The Russian intelligence service sees it. The Chinese intelligence service sees it. Yes. And they see how we operate, how we communicate when we're under fire, how we operate when we're under fire, what kind of orders they give us. All of that's in there.
It's astonishing, Congressman. Thank you very much. Michael Patrick Shiels, he's Mike Rogers.